Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer, is here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
How are you?
I am great.
You look great. Everyone in this room looks great. I'm giving out compliments. I got a compliment gun today.
So if you want to check out the food truck fiesta that's in Sanford, Eric's going to be out there right in front of the West End. There are tons of food trucks. Every time Eric sends me pictures, it's packed with
They
people.
always rotate them. There's always different trucks out there.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of a pretzel truck, an Amish pretzel truck. I like that. I like the Swedish truck. I like a good hamburger in a truck.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And I like a quesadilla truck.
And it's nice, go around Sanford, hit the food truck fiesta, then Sanford a little bit, hit the West End,
Stop back in. Food trucks, you can eat a bunch of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like...
tapas.
Yeah, it's like
get little
Epcot.
snacks everywhere.
Yeah, it's like you go around and you get some egg rolls and you split it with your wife, and then you walk over here and you get a kebab.
Yeah.
I like when's the last time you guys had a kebab?
I don't eat many kebabs.
You strike me as a kebab man because, you're going high protein. And you know what? Nature's muscle milk is the kebab. It's on a stick.
Kebab is lamb, right?
I think traditionally, yes, but I think now it's chicken.
Yeah,
whatever you
beef
want.
and
Whatever
everything,
you
yeah.
want.
I don't like lamb. It's
I
the
don't
only
like
one.
lamb either.
Only one I don't like is too gamey.
It's
The
a
mint
baby
is
sheep.
gross.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like every other animal doesn't
Don't
matter.
eat a
but-
baby sheep.
Yeah, I don't want to eat
To be
it.
fair, you don't eat any animals.
I know, but
is
you
it
shouldn't
all-
be eating the animal that's in the baby's story time.
What about an
box.
old ass gray dusty sheep?
That's mutton,
yeah,
right?
one of the mutton.
That's gamey.
Yeah. Mutton.
That's mutton?
Hit that thing with
Mutton's
a
old
bat.
sheep.
Bart and Crystal are here. How you doing?
Hey.
The Bart Merrick team.
Hi.
What's going on?
So what's going on with real estate? We'll get that out of the way, and
Is
then
that what this segment's called? What's going on with real estate?
and then I've got some gripes.
What?
Yeah, I noticed you didn't want to have any fun. I'm throwing out all these things about food trucks, all this fun stuff, and he's like, power through, got to get to the gripes.
So real estate, what's happening?
I swear. It's like when we come in here, you do that weird thing where you just yell out real estate and then stare at us.
Houses!
It's so awkward.
Houses, go!
That's what he does to me after,
Well-
at every end of every Friday free show. He's like, semantics. and that's it. And I'm like,
What
okay.
else is he doing? He's doing like the 1980s panel host where he's like, today's topic is Russia. Crystal Van.
Go.
Yeah, that's easier, right?
Oh, it's like it
You don't
shows
have to
no
na-
skill whatsoever.
Oh, that's what I
You
like.
just have to remember names.
That's all I can do.
Tort reform. Bart Merrick.
So I'll take the floor and tell you.
Oh,
about
wow.
real
We
estate.
know. We know you'll take the floor.
You're going to filibust us now.
yeah.
What seems to be happening right now is
You tell us about real estate.
What
I
we
know.
have
I
here.
pick on. I absorb it from Crystal.
I don't like when you do that because this is what happens. You give wrong information,
correct.
Yeah.
and then
You
everyone
have
assumes
listen.
I've given you this wrong
Yes.
information.
Right.
You have
And
to
so that
listen.
makes me
I told
look
you
bad.
last week to stop talking
And then
about
he'll
it.
say it. He'll go, "That's a Crystal Van guarantee."
No, I'm interpreting what I hear.
Ooh, you got bad interpretation.
Yeah, you're like that lady that was fake interpreting. Remember that lady that was like doing it? It's highly disrespectful. It was like that black lady that was up there. She was like clap, clap, blah, 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 blah. And everybody was like, "Are you real?" And she's like, "Of course I'm not. I'm a crazy person." That's you. That's you.
So, like everybody knows, the interest rates have gone up, right?
What?
So,
Is Bart?
Now-
is
They
this
have.
true?
I can verify
Is
that.
this? Oh my
but
God.
what
It
that
wasn't transitory.
Yeah, but what that did is actually give you a better chance to buy a house right now. So let me explain. So back when the interest rates were lower and we're coming out of COVID, and then it became the real estate market exploded and everybody was buying and bidding for the same house
Yeah.
because everybody wanted to buy houses, right? So it created bidding wars, and then every single house was hard to actually buy because you're now in a bidding war with people that were paying $30,000 over asking price, right? And some people are paying cash, and you can't bid against cash if you have a traditional loan. Forget about it, and then you have to have specialized loans.
Forget
and all
about
that.
it.
So then buying a house became really, really difficult. But now, because it's slowed down, now interest rates are higher. So people are like, well, this seems counterintuitive to Tom's point because now I'm paying a little more for the interest rate on a mortgage. But you have better negotiation power because the market has slowed down. So if you're looking to buy a house, you could actually possibly possibly get it, right? And maybe even get it for below asking price because there's not a bidding war like there was going on.
No.
So think about it. It could actually save you money. Yeah, you're paying 7% or whatever, 6% on your interest rate, but you could get it for $20,000 less instead of $30,000 over, and
Right.
just do the math. And then if the interest rates go down, just refi out of it later.
Is the idea, guys, to
Am I right,
buy
Bert?
in a? Yeah, I was gonna say now. Check
Did I sound?
Yeah.
No, what am I saying?
Check his work.
It's
check his
mostly
work.
right.
No, there it is.
Mostly.
Mostly right. So put that on my gravestone. All right, sorry.
There's it's such a weird market, man. I'll be blunt. It's right now. It's a real tough time for a lot of people in the industry, and it's a tough time for.
That's exactly what I say. No, it's not. You didn't say that. You didn't say that.
It's a tough time to be a seller. It's still tricky to be a buyer. There's better opportunities as a buyer now, but the selling side's gotten difficult because, like you said, if you have a house at your current home and your mortgage on it's at 3.5, to go buy something else, it's going to be another $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 more. And take that on 6.5 is a lot to ask somebody to, drop that cheap mortgage and go get something that's really expensive. So it's created a dynamic where homeowners have these kind of golden handcuffs where they're kind of stuck where they're at. There's still a lot of buyers out there. The cash market's still strong, obviously. They're not affected by interest rates, but it's slowed down a bit. And there is opportunity for buyers out there. Like you said, you don't necessarily have to go in and expect to put up $20,000, $30,000 above what they're asking today. You might be able to get. I'll tell you this, there's a portion of the market where you're not going to get deals, where that's still going to be the lower end of the market, stuff that's under 250, 200, you think? About
Yeah,
there?
no, under 250.
Under 250
Even
is-
under 300 maybe.
Yeah, that's still
Yeah.
a real competitive marketplace at that price point. When you start getting up to 350 to 5, it becomes a little easier, and then anything really above 5, 6, it gets a lot easier.
Let's.
What about a mill? What about a mill and a half? Because that's what I feel like I want to shoot for, or maybe 2.5.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good luck. I think
Let's
you'll
do
do
it.
fine.
What's that market
I'm
like?
talking cash.
Let's talk about quality of life, because I often, and I used to do this, and I think this has come with age perspective, because like once you hit middle age, you start realizing like, man, 5 or 10 years is a good chunk
Of your life.
right? And like, you don't look at it like that in your 20s, and obviously your 30s, you get in your 40s, you're like, man, like even 5 years is now a percentage of my life. And you're talking about like good life, you don't want to talk a decrepit old man life. So you're like,
Most of my life has been. We won't talk about it.
because after a certain age, you're like, oh, what, now we're
All downhill now.
Anyway, so even like 5 years, I see sometimes, and I used to do this where it's like, well, I'll wait 5 years, before but then if you think, well, if I just bite the bullet now, and yeah, I'm paying more than I want, but now I get 5 years in a house that I want to live in,
Right.
and that's 5 years of enjoyment that's better than maybe, if you hate the place you live in or you want it bigger or whatever it is.
I've always been
you
that
want to
guy.
move in your
Yeah.
dream place. And then anytime I've ever made those decisions in life that seemed like a poor financial decision, back when I made it and was scared or whatever, and then I always look back, I'm like, I'm glad I pulled the trigger
Yeah.
and then didn't
Right.
wait.
I did that with
And
my
it
first
always
house.
happens.
I bought it.
Yeah.
I was really, really scared. I probably was a little over my head, just a touch, or at least maybe not over my head, but at least a little uncomfortable
Yeah,
with
yeah,
it.
yeah.
But I'm so glad that I did it, and I did it early. I did it when I was young, and then it helped my credit, and it really wasn't that scary, and I was paying for something that I wanted to own, and
I don't think you should really look at buying your home as an investment, because you need a place to live, right?
Sure.
It's not like you're going to buy and sell it like a stock. It's somewhere you got to lay your head down at night somewhere. You need a place to go. So I agree with you. When someone asks me about timing the market, I think it's really difficult, in fact, impossible to do with real estate. You just do what's right for you at that time in your life. If you're at a
because it's
place,
different case by case, right?
right? If you're somewhere where you need to move because you have a new job or your kids on the way, or your family's shrinking or something like that, just do what's right for you. Do what feels better.
Yeah. And it's, I think people, they get scared, and I did too when, the first couple houses, you like that 30-year fixed mortgage, you're looking at 30 years, I'll be dead by then.
Right.
And you're like,
You see,
that's my whole life. But then you're like, Well, that's not how business works. Just if the market fluctuates, refi out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like just refi when because things do go up and down, up and
I
down.
always looked at it like 30 years, I'll be dead by then, but I was like, good. Who's going to pay for it? I don't care. Like, I don't care if this place burns down. If I'm dead, like, I don't care if my kids have to pay for it. I don't care. Like, I'm dead.
So then there is like you start looking at 7%, and then you're like, I remember when it was 2.5%, but you get stuck in that. But remember when it was 15%? Like because you start looking about when in the 80s it was like 27%, some insane amount.
If you go back far enough, where we're at right now is actually historically kind of average. Like being around, we're a little high, but like around 5-6% is about where mortgages have historically been. You have like you said in the late 80s, early 80s, it spikes up, and even in the early 90s.
So what I'm hearing is shut up out there, like, stupid complaining.
Well, if we get used to the rate being at 2.75 or 3%, and then all of a sudden it's 6%, you're like, oh my God, it's so high. But really, it's not that high.
My wife got used to 2, and I have a feeling she's been searching for 8 or 9. And
didn't we buy our Deltona house at 6% or something?
It was like it was 6.5 or something. Like
and then
that.
we were like, "This is good." I remember I had no idea though because I have no percentage.
All we knew at the time is
what is it even a percentage?
I still don't know.
I have no idea.
I still don't know. I don't care. I just like whatever.
Good, bad.
Yeah.
What do I care?
Did it clear? Did it clear?
We
it
could
cleared.
afford the payment. That's what we knew. We could afford.
I'm living
and that's
day
how
by
most people
day.
shop. And that's really the way people shop. It's not so much the interest rate, but the payment.
Yeah.
I always shop
Can you
payment.
afford to pay it?
Everything. Every
month.
car. What is the payment per month? Can I afford it? $2,000 a month? I don't know. It's a pretty cool car.
When did car payments get so high?
Pretty cool
What
car.
does it really even
when
mean
men wanted stupid cars, basically.
to afford something? I had never known what that even means.
Oh, and Andrew gets so mad because
And that's why the business is tanking because of these goddamn shirts.
I'm just like my dad, too. You don't want me as the business department. My dad and I are the type of person, we look at it, we're like, how much is that Harley? $24,000? Okay. What's the monthly payment? $860 a month? How much do I need to put down to get that payment down to $150 a month? Oh, I got to put down $20,000? Do it. Just do it.
Anyway.
I'll put if I have it in my savings, I'll put it all down to get that payment down to $1. And I'm like, I'm a genius.
So, is it gripes of the weekend?
Yeah, you're ready.
Okay,
You're ready.
right.
And go.
This is not really gripes of the week, but this is something that me and Crystal realized over the time.
Don't drag her into
I
your
was
gripes.
just
man.
thinking that.
Okay.
Don't
Well, we
drag
we
me into
align
this.
sometimes. Like he does this with me, and he's like, I think you'll agree with this. Now follow me here. And I'm like, oh God.
This is all this negativity with TikTok. I'm going to talk about something positive. It's helped us bring our marriage closer.
TikTok saved your marriage.
TikTok saved my marriage.
She's grimacing as you're saying this.
Yeah.
She's not even on
Take that,
TikTok.
China.
She deleted it.
I don't have TikTok.
Well, she's got Instagram Reels, which is basically TikTok.
It's the American
Yeah,
version.
it's white TikTok.
It's white TikTok.
Instagram Reels is white TikTok.
But I don't get it because, well, never mind.
Reels has
It's the same thing. You send me the same thing I send you.
Reels is a little racist. There's less black guys dressed up like their grandma on there, for a fact.
So this is why it saves our marriage, because now, of course, like most Americans, we've abandoned TV and we've gone to just staring at our phones and then scrolling
Side by
through-
side on different phones, not one phone, but different phones.
Yeah, on the couch.
What are you watching? What are you
And-
watching? Who cares? Just lay there.
And then we send each other.
Do you guys at least like play footsie?
No.
No.
What is that? A video game? Is that words with
Crystal was
friends?
I like the way you
offended.
both said it. Like, no.
I know.
Is that-
It's so hot. I can't.
Is that
you
word
know?
with friends? Do you want to footsie his footsies?
No,
Have you
no,
seen
no.
his? They're black.
I have
Fair
a
enough.
foot odor problem that
Yeah.
I
So does
we'll talk
Maisie.
about it.
So does
Yeah.
Maisie.
Does she?
Dude, from dance, Maisie's feet,
Oh,
you
stank.
can't unstink them. Then I read online you have to soak them in vinegar. I'm like, they smell like vinegar. They're already soaked in vinegar.
Yeah.
Why would that help? That's like saying in order to get rid of the poo stains, you have to poop on it again. I'm like, that doesn't work like that. Who invented that? That's a joke,
Rub
right?
some poop on
That's
this.
a joke.
So we send each other videos.
Oh, side by side?
That we think are
Side
funny.
by, you're laying side by side.
But it's not even really like what we think is funny. Is what we laugh about personally about the other person. And then when we see,
Oh, so you attack each other using me?
yeah.
We
So
sit
you're
on the couch.
passive aggressive. We
What?
with
Yeah. We passive aggressively sending each other TikTok videos.
You did that with me. You sent one to me where it's like there's two kinds of people. That video, and it's like one guy that doesn't care about his bike and he just throws it in there, and the other guy that wipes it all down perfectly and then sets it on the rack.
Just,
like, this is you. And I was like,
this is you and TC.
But
it was a compliment.
Yeah, but I looked at I was like, yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. So that's what we do with these memes.
Okay.
And then
I understand now.
She sends me like the meme of the husband. There's this video of like, hey, we got a company coming over. We need to clean the house. And then the husband runs outside and starts immediately trimming the trees. And then so Crystal made fun of me for years because
every time I say help me inside the house, he goes out and starts clipping leaves or something out there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Blowing around the dirt.
Well, at least you have an excuse. Andrew will be like, you need to help me. I'll go, no.
There's no meme for that.
There isn't a meme for that. I just look at her.
That doesn't happen.
I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm disabled.
So, and then I find a meme and
Meme wars.
And then it makes me realize and makes her realize that we're not just crazy people, which we assumed that we were because Crystal would see the crazy things that I do and be like, this person's insane. And then I'd see things Crystal does and I didn't know other.
Well, just because you relate to crazy people doesn't make you not crazy.
Well, it's all in the videos. So it must be a thing.
Right.
I mean, it's a thing.
I've seen multiple different accounts who have had the same, like my husband goes out and picks up sticks in the backyard whenever, we're 2 hours from having a party or something like that.
I usually go.
Like, I'm not the only person who has a husband who does that. And it just makes me feel
not alone. Okay.
Not alone.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And throwing the boxes in the garage. Like I guess there's a thing where wives take the Amazon boxes and just throw them into the garage, and then the husband deals with it. Yeah. And I do that every time I have a box. I just huck it right into the garage.
I want to talk about this.
And then I don't know what happens to it after that.
The other day, I'm taking out the garbage, and there is a pile of boxes, and not just
clubhouse,
not just in the garage, but right in front of the garage door, which leads to the garbage area where the garbage cans. And then
I've just gotten good at aiming.
But I'm looking at it, and I'm like, the boxes are 6 inches from the garbage. The only thing stopping it is
are they broken
door.
Down at all?
No.
That's what I don't want to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's
your hands job. Dry. Yeah.
You break them down.
So then I also saw in a video about a husband making fun of their wife that she drives around with bags of donations of clothing and other.
It's just a way the car
garbage.
down.
And then she drives around with it
for 6 weeks.
6 weeks or whatever.
Until she eventually takes it and puts it back inside her own home.
Yeah.
When I need the space in the car, I got to put it back in the house.
Yeah, I've seen people that do that.
And then this
Bart just said, because he's like, y'all are crazy.
Yes. Me and Bart are going to just sit here in silence because
I don't do any of this.
Well, hold on.
I've seen people do this.
The internet, so it must be a thing that other people do that it must be a popular thing, right? So then I'm like, okay, well, Crystal's not crazy like I thought because I thought
because you relate to them doesn't make you not crazy.
All right.
Those people are crazy too.
So is this are we getting these videos because
it's your algorithm now
that somehow it knows that we do this?
You're sharing
crazy. We're sharing it.
Yeah.
Well,
I would imagine
it makes note of that.
The Chinese government knows what you like.
Maybe
maybe the fact that no one here knows what we're talking about. It makes me
now
think
I'm like, oh no.
Are we getting in our crazy bubble?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little more interesting than that. Maybe it's that you guys that throw boxes into the garage have other things that align that you're also into. Right? Mm-hmm. Like you could also I don't know what else is on your algorithm because I'm not on Reels as very much or TikTok, but what else? Do you have a pattern to the things that you see?
It's usually couples humor.
Okay.
Like the husband
Pranks?
is annoying or the wife does annoying things.
So it's
husband-wife stereotype.
It's honeymooners.
We love stereotypes.
Yeah. That's why you guys are soulmates.
It's buffoon husband and
frustrated wife.
And frustrated wife.
Yeah.
God, that is a classic. That is a 1950s
It's very
classic.
Married with Children.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, there it is. The Married with Children.
Yeah.
Well, I saw Al Bundy.
It's just
no
30
ma'am.
years old.
This is so funny.
When Al Bundy never gets the sex at night.
Yeah, puts his
bitches
hand
about
in his
the
pants.
bonbon,
Hand in his
hand in the
pants.
pants. He's miserable.
Yeah.
I thought that's America's
But
dad.
then you watched Modern Family, and totally different.
Yeah, well, that
You didn't
old
move
Al
on
Bundy,
past-
he got divorced and got a younger
Yeah,
wife. I
he
get
did.
that. I understand
And
that.
he got frustrated with the gays.
I love old Al Bundy.
Remember
He's my idol.
when I first started doing real estate with Bart, TC and I had this idea that would be funny if I just was the Peggy Bundy of real estate and I just put on the costume, not like an actual.
Right.
I love this idea.
I do too.
Is this another one of your
We were
great
like,
ideas?
this is his-
right
this
after
is his
this one
porno
was
algorithm.
Yeah, right after this one was Beanie and $5 shirt idea.
Yeah.
What a great
we were
idea.
like, we're gonna figure out how to get my hair big every day and
tease
like,
it. Yeah.
and I'll take my
I'm Regina Real Estate.
yeah my business card. Well, I'll have a cigarette in one hand and like big pink lips or whatever.
Don't worry,
And
I don't smoke inside.
I love that idea.
I thought it would be like, I mean, obviously Bart is just a joke. We obviously didn't do that, but we just thought it would be really funny to like
Bart looks
gimmick it up a
extremely
bit, you know.
nervous.
We need to get new business cards.
Like
anyway.
I use it.
Put it on the Christmas card next year on the pillow.
In this fantasy, I have a dog, the bounty hunter vest on.
You're not involved in this fantasy. What are you talking about?
Let's talk about what Tommy told me. I think it was last night. So we're sitting there last night, and then I see this paper sitting on our kitchen counter.
From heaven to heaven.
And then, and then it says
Part two.
I can't wait to read
Part
it, by
two.
the way.
You're never gonna get to see it.
God, bring it tomorrow.
it says Max's name on it, and then it's some sort of chart, right? Where I can see a line, and then like I can see like these like points on the chart or whatever. I'm like, what is this, right? And then Chris was like, I didn't tell you. I took Max to an ear, nose, and throat specialist because of his ear. Now, rewind back over the weekend. We were at the Wizard's house for his daughter's birthday.
Yeah.
And he is now like the carny of Satellite Beach because he orders like from the local rental company gigantic water slides.
Bigger than yours?
Oh, yeah. Because he's got
Huge.
the big front yard.
Yeah.
And so
You need a lot of area for those.
and then I mean, it's a 4-blower water slide.
Wow,
2 on each side.
4-blower.
Yeah, gigantic.
I don't think I've ever seen a 4-blower out in public.
And then he just lets all the neighborhood kids and everybody for the birthday party. They're all running a wild,
man,
crazy.
He's so fun.
And then Max and Tommy are going up and down. Max gets nailed by some kid coming down the water slide
Yeah.
because, of course, like it's just kids are running back and forth.
And the Fuller kids, when they go down the slide,
It was like a foot to ear, straight legged, straight down the slide,
ouchie.
right to the ear.
yeah, that'll hurt.
So then
That's a
Max
stinger.
gets hit in the side of the ear, grabs his ear, is crying.
He said he couldn't hear and he had ringing in his head.
Yeah.
So
So
you've said that before.
Man,
You're probably really proud of him.
and he's like I can't hear.
Oh
and so
my God.
so Crystal.
You weren't afraid of that at all? You didn't run over there and you're like freak out at all? Or?
Well, you get hit in the ear sometimes, and then you've been hit in the ear as a kid.
Plenty
it's
of
like,
times.
Yeah, it rings, and then you get that muted, like there's some water in your ear. You know, like
Yeah, I hate the feeling. I hate
Like
it. Oh God, I hate it.
Saving Private Ryan on the
The
explosion.
flashbang.
Walking
there's
through
a-
the
Man, your
hall.
references are so.
Yeah. And there's old
relevant.
Tom Sizemore. There's old Tom
R.I.P.
Sizemore wandering around without pants on, throwing frisbee in a hotel
Sizemore
room.
there. And then so I was like, he's fine. And then the
He had blood coming out of his ear.
Oh my
No.
God!
No, okay, well
Oh, he
you
busted his eardrum.
you flushed it out with the eardrops. So the wizard's wife's a nurse, and then I'm like, look at it, and then she's like, it's fine.
Look at it.
And then I was like, that's the nurse, just as good as the doctor. It's fine. And then Crystal takes him to the Minute Clinic or whatever it is.
Yeah, the ER, the
Urgent care.
urgent care. Yeah.
And then comes back, and then the urgent care doctor, of course, because they love money, suggests like, you should have a ENT look at this. Which I think it's
He's
just
not getting any money out of that recommendation.
yeah, but it's all a fraternity.
Yeah, I know, but these
It's all doctors helping doctors. They say, yeah, you should go see this other doctor. They all do it as like
professional courtesy.
Yeah, professional
Yeah.
courtesy. I
Put a
know
little-
professional
put a little
courtesy.
money in your pocket.
yeah. Cops do it.
Yeah.
Firefighters, professional courtesy.
Podcasters do it, but not on the same show. There's none.
Yeah. Like, you should advertise in some podcasts. As I tell people all the time.
Yeah.
And then anyway, so Crystal takes Max to the ear, nose, and throat, and then I see the sheet, right? So then I'm like, "What's the sheet?" And Crystal's like, "I took him to ear, nose, and throat just to make sure his eardrum was fine. It wasn't ruptured or whatever." It's
I don't see
hearing.
anything wrong here yet. By the way, I mean, like I've been quiet.
No, TC told me you don't need to take him.
No, but
you don't need to take him.
I know that Andrea wouldn't be able to sleep unless she took May.
The ears are very delicate.
Yeah, but
you have to be careful.
Yeah, well, I mean,
well, is that an ear problem or is that an anxiety thinking your son's hurt problem?
either way, if she goes to the doctor and it makes her feel better and gives her peace of mind as a mom, I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
I had
that peace of mind
have to be clear. I had zero anxiety about this.
Okay.
No, I mean, peace
my-
of mind. I meant.
It's not even peace of mind. It's parenting. Like, that's my child, and I have to make sure that he's healthy.
So
It's
then,
my responsibility. And if he gets older and now he has
Right.
hearing problems,
Better
because
safe than
I
sorry,
didn't
yeah.
take him and get the steroid in
Yeah.
time, it's my fault that I've done something that
Then you're over
Was
there, like,
preventable,
hey, you want to
yeah.
go down the slide again? And he's
Yeah.
like,
It's
no,
simple.
I don't want to go down the slide again. And you're like, oh my God, what have I done?
I really did it this time.
the Incredible Hulk talks like that. That's what I'll say.
Everything fine, Dad. Everything fine. And you go, should have taken him.
Speaking of everything's fine, then I'm like, well, what'd they say? And then they said everything's fine. So, okay, all right. So then
Perfectly fine.
Tommy tells me this. He's like, you care about money more than our health. And then so I was like, what? And I'm like,
Damn.
so then
He cuts, man.
I fell off the chair on that one.
Yeah, he got me. He got me on that
But
one.
also, I'm like, well, he didn't come up with that himself.
I did not tell him that.
So then, well, you did. I said you don't need to go to the ear, nose, and throat. So then I looked at my sons and I said, I'm like, Max, what did the doctor tell you? And then he's like, he said, I'm fine. And then I'm like, case closed.
Okay. Well, the
Who
only
was right?
The case is not closed.
the only way
here.
to verify.
He was fine the whole time.
But what if he
Yeah,
wasn't?
But you didn't know that.
Right,
But
you
what if
didn't
he
know
wasn't?
that.
You didn't know that.
I said that.
No, you gambled on it. You
Right,
said it and you gambled on it.
Yeah, but it
and,
was
and
true.
It happened to be right
he
this
has
time.
convinced
Whoa.
himself that in gambling, if he gets it right, that
He
he
knew
knew
it.
it the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yes.
Which makes you an insane person.
It makes you the same person.
yeah.
So what
I'm
happened?
just
No,
saying, get mad at
TC,
me when I'm wrong.
What do you say
We're always
when
mad
you
at you
were
when you're
wrong?
wrong. It doesn't matter.
Well, then I put my head down.
It doesn't bother you at all. We are wrong all the time, and we tell you you're wrong, and you're like, yes, I was.
Yeah.
So which is it?
What is it that you say when you were wrong? Do you know the phrase that I'm going to say?
Okay, what is it?
What is it? What is it? Say
I
it.
shouldn't have
Hey,
just
hey,
said
name-
anything. I shouldn't have even talked.
No,
That's
no.
what he says
he
around
has
here.
a specific phrase he
Hold
uses
on, I'm trying
when
to think
he
of
was
it.
wrong.
Okay, I know what you're gonna say.
Well, say it.
You tell me all the time.
Okay. You say, well, I didn't think that was going to happen. That's what you always say.
That was the truth. I'm telling you the truth. I thought that another thing was
Oh,
gonna
my
happen.
God.
I called
but
it out,
wait,
and I.
you
You're
don't
maddening.
think that you don't
I
think that
caught
you
the
weight
ball
the things
before the
that
homer.
you don't think you weight the things that you say heavier than anything else that's said. I think you do.
What do you mean?
Like when you say, like your weight, just in the example you're giving with Crystal, you're weighting what you're saying. Like he doesn't need to go. You're like, what do you had nothing to verify that other than.
Well, I was like, what's the chances that he ruptured his eardrum? Kids get hit in the ear all the time. It's like, I feel like.
I got to admit, I lean on Tom on this one.
No,
Okay,
thank you.
One for Tom.
No,
One
that's
for
fair.
Tom.
No, that's totally fair. I'm just
That
saying, like,
was a mistake.
Look, I also side with.
with
I
you.
also, but I also side with you. But I also understand in my household that's not going to work. So I'm trying to answer this as if I were you.
Well,
And I
nothing
just
works
feel like I
in
just
my
tell
house.
Andrew, I just tell Andrew just go because I know it's gonna. You have to do it.
Right.
Because if you didn't do it, like I know you so well that if let's say that it were the opposite, which there is a possibility that could have happened, and if you had to leave here because Max couldn't hear out of his ear, you'd be
Now I could
Oh.
be wrong, but
I'll stab my ears.
didn't you also think nothing was wrong with Max when he actually did like fracture his collarbone?
That was
There you go.
He didn't expect-
a mistake in
He
my
didn't
life
know that would
I'm
happen.
still paying for.
He didn't think that would happen.
Yeah. Well, I've said that mistake that one time I was wrong.
Right. So again, you're just gambling with their health. So what if this time you were wrong too?
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's just why not just do the regular process?
Just to make
Who
sure.
Cares? Who cares? What does it matter?
Well,
Because he's thinking about money, like Tommy said.
So it's not
Yeah.
just
Tommy was right.
You know what else Tommy said? He said,
Oh no, is this something he
Is
doesn't
this
know?
the video?
yeah, it was yesterday when we were in the waiting room. He goes, remember that time I needed a cast for my leg and Dad told the doctor I didn't need it?
Oh my god.
And I said,
Dude,
I
that
said it
sounds
wasn't a cast.
didn't need it.
It was just a boot, and Dad didn't think you needed it. And he goes, I did need it.
Oh.
No, it didn't. No, that's how you get them.
Now he walks funny.
He said they don't know about the medical
This is
industry
why his
and
little
why it
stick
works.
legs can't grow.
No,
man.
nothing was wrong with his leg at all. He's
like, I
The
couldn't-
doctor, I was like, no, they just want to sell
He's
you
like,
whatever.
You
This
know
is our
what?
business.
Dad was right. I did learn to love my limp.
Little Forrest Gump.
It makes me
No,
unique. It makes me
everything's
different
fine.
than the other boys.
Here's the like. Look at what everything. If your eardrum was broken, right? There's nothing you can do about it. The same thing with
Rupture.
a collarbone. Yes, I didn't think he had a broken collarbone. It turned out he did. But what they do.
But you're nickel and diamond, man. It's not that much money.
Yeah,
What is this? At the most, it's gonna be $500.
But if it's most likely 90% fine.
I don't do most likely when it comes to kids.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
500.
whatever.
Yeah, but what are they going to do for the broken eardrum?
I don't
If it
care.
is.
Well, okay, I'll give you an example. If he had some sort of specific inflammation or swelling that could damage his hearing permanently and he needed a steroid to reduce that inflammation quickly, you know what I'm saying?
That's a pretty
Is that
well
a-
thought out answer right
Yeah,
there.
that's what she does to me.
Yeah, that's a pretty
Or
goddamn
she-
well thought out answer right
She
there.
hits
saying,
me
like,
with, I
what's
can't argue logic against it.
What's the problem with going and just having his having
I-
it looked
I
at?
agree with you, and I also see your point. I'm trying to see your point,
I
and
know.
you're right about that. And I got kicked in the ear, and look at my nose; it's all screwed up, and I never got it fixed or anything like that. But why not just? Who
You
cares?
should
Yeah,
have
but
got
if you
that
take your
fixed.
kids to the doctor,
Now
if
you're
you take them to the
arguing.
doctor for every little thing, doesn't it start to train them that they need to do that for every little thing?
I don't know. I don't take him for every little thing,
Well,
but
blood
I
out of your
take
ear,
him-
I would
yeah.
go to the
Right,
emergency room.
understandably.
I mean-
But if the doctor looks at it, looks inside there and goes, I think you're all right, go to an ENT, he's more or less throwing liability
Liability.
off himself.
That's
Right.
true.
That's
but
what
then,
they're doing.
That's true, and I agree. But then
That's what they're doing. What is that voice? Is that a new character you're trying out?
Sorry.
I just want to make sure my children are healthy.
Yeah, I don't
I
blame you.
understand.
I don't blame
That's
you.
the whole children's health industry.
God, I was-
is nickel and diming you crazy.
I was
figured-
the opposite with May when she got the stomach bug. I was like, well, look at her. Like she was on the
Well,
the
a stomach
couch.
bug. I wouldn't have taken my kids to.
Well,
to the
she was
doctor
on
for
the
that.
couch and she was like, oh, oh, and I looked at Andrew. I'm like, what the hell's going on over here? I'm like, she's really milking this. And I was like,
Go suffer in
I
silence.
thought she was screwing around. I think, she'd be like, the cramps, and I'd be like, God damn,
Our buddy-
shut her up. You know, I was almost like, go to your room. You know, if you're gonna do that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then I
don't
got
bother
it.
me with all
and
this
then I
screaming.
got it, and then I was like, oh, like the
she tell you to
same
shut
thing.
up?
Father
Yeah.
and son.
I did the same thing. No, everybody at our house is screaming. It was
So
terrible.
what was the chart?
Oh, it was a hearing test that I'm sure.
Oh, they're
No, but I hear-
performing their own hearing test now?
No,
Oh,
no,
no, it
that
was
was
actually from the doctor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
that was
thought Tommy
I
did
did too.
No,
The
no.
way you
Like,
explained
I
it,
care
thought-
more about Max than my daddy does.
I honestly thought Tommy was like, well, if Daddy's not going to test your hearing, I have to do something with my best
No,
buddy.
no, no. It was from
No.
the doctor, and his right
Daddy's too drunk.
his right ear is markedly lower than his left ear. Like the one he got
damage?
hit.
From
Yeah,
damage?
I mean, well, it's probably just
Oh, yeah,
it's just
well,
inflammation and that it'll
yeah.
probably go
It'll
down.
go back.
That's
But
what I would put on the
he's-
chart if I was this business and you took me in. I'm gonna put in a little thing different.
Is that what you do for our clients?
If I put the same, then they'll know that I didn't even spend this money. But
Oh,
if I put it
teasy.
different, I'm just saying I would. If that happens.
Does this happen for every decision?
This kind of back and forth.
Well, sort of, yeah. Like,
No, I just do what I want, and then he finds out later.
and then.
Yeah, that's why I brought it grapes of the week.
Oh, okay.
I
All right,
can't
all right, I
say
get it
this
now.
when I'm at home.
I get it now.
When I'm
but
at home,
I-
I just gotta take it.
The sad thing is, I have to hide doctor's appointments from him.
Oh,
Like I don't have to hide I don't have to hide my
Dude,
Amazon
every
bill.
time this happens, I feel so much better about my own life. I'm like, I'm pretty boring and normal. I'm like a pretty normal, boring anxiety guy, just a regular little anxiety guy.
I don't have to hide the Target bill or the Amazon bill, but doctor's visit. Don't tell him about that.
Is it you have something against doctors?
Yeah,
he,
yeah, yeah.
He
No, I
hates it,
don't.
the insurance company, all of that. Oh, he's
Well,
mad at it.
No one.
You're like Jigsaw. You're as mad about insurance as
Oh,
Jigsaw.
he's Jigsaw.
Yeah,
No
remember
one
the
wants
last
to look at-
couple?
Because he just thinks it's a scam. He
Yeah.
thinks it's all a scam.
It's not all a scam. It's just I'm. If you are motivated by capitalism, right, which all these
Which
places
you are.
Which
right?
you are too.
You know, I know that's where I'm getting it from. And then their business is this business, right? You take Tommy to the doctor for a nothing sprained ankle, and then the doctor's like, all right, well, you came here to see me. I'm going to sell you something. Obviously, you came in. If someone comes in looking for advertising, I'm going to give them the package, right? I'm not going to be like, nah, I don't know. Get out of here.
Right,
Like,
right.
You're going to, and so they come in and you're like, well, you know, I took the x-ray, nothing major. Could be, it's always inflammation. Everything's inflamed.
Isn't there
Why is everything so
There's
inflamed?
a middle ground, right? There's like, there's somewhere in the middle. You guys can
There
get
is-
in the middle.
Well, if there's an actual injury, like, hey, here is
Well, like
the
blood,
crack.
like blood out of the ear. Yeah.
Well, the blood, things bleed all the time. I said noses
Your ears
bleed.
typically don't bleed.
I've
I've only seen it. The only time I see ears bleed is in movies when people are on the ground dying,
Right. Like
and the blood trickles out of their
the
ear.
orange liquid
Yeah.
or the cerebrospinal fluid is
Thank you.
leaking
Yeah,
out. You're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
something is not right if something's coming out of your ear.
Okay, hold on. When you say bleed, it wasn't a trickle of blood like it was.
Was Max
Die
freaked out
Hard.
about it?
Yeah.
Nobody
Well,
asked that question, right?
Completely panicked.
You got to ask that question
okay,
because
well-
He's
if
like,
it,
it's ringing, it's ringing.
yeah,
I
if
keep
it
hearing
makes
it's
him
ringing."
better. Hey, do you want to go to the doctor? Yes, I want to go to the doctor. Well, sorry.
Well, he is naturally wired that way. He's
Okay.
concerned about his health.
so
and all this
going there
stuff.
helped him out.
What helped him out his wiring, but there was nothing damaged with his ear. That's all I'm
This
saying.
time,
Yeah. Well,
There
most
was.
of the time.
He had a perforation of his eardrum.
No,
And he's
that's
on
what they-
antibiotics. And
they
his
s-
hearing is reduced
I think
on
you
the
probably
right ear.
you
They
probably
said-
should have
How
just
can
told him
you-
no doctor for you. And
How
just
can
let
you
him sit
minimize
there.
this?
Well,
I don't understand.
Well, they said perforation. They said, well, I can't really see anything.
Well, there was blood in there
Yeah. There's some blood.
and dilated vessels.
There's
and
blood
inflammation.
everywhere.
Come on.
I mean, who doesn't
Jesus,
poop
man.
with a little bit of blood?
What?
I'm saying it happens.
You know
I'm
what?
like a perforation.
Lately-
this is every other.
Lately, he's not wrong with me. My number ones
Yeah,
are a
listen,
little pink.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah, I know.
That is not
Sometimes
good.
some blood
know.
happens.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
well, it's fine.
Like a strawberry lemonade.
Oh,
Hey! Strawberry lemonade.
Jesus,
All right.
man.
We have time for one more gripe, sir.
Do
Do you have another one loaded? Do you have a second gripe?
Did you write a list of
Yeah.
grapes with a pencil?
He's only on number 2, and he's
my
got 9 gripes.
Okay, I got one. So, in the mornings on the weekend,
Smoothies? Can you do smoothies?
well, yeah, I do smoothies, but sometimes after the smoothie, I'll go.
Because you're Liver King, you're Orlando's Liver King, you're beefing up.
I'll go to Lowe's
Oh,
to
God.
just
Yeah.
go look around.
Do you drink a muscle milk while you're wandering around?
No,
the-
it's in my smoothie.
Okay.
But I'll go and look at the clearance plant section, see what they got, and then pick up some soils and whatever.
Soils, yeah.
You know, just wandering around. Right?
Doesn't mind spending money at
Yeah.
Lowe's.
Yeah.
Oh, look
But
at
don't
that.
go to that ear doctor.
There's a TV screen on a refrigerator.
Now-
Holy cow.
I tiptoed out of the house. The family's dead asleep. But yeah. I mean,
Let me see here.
no one's waking up. Nothing.
110 milligram sativa.
It is the best time to go to Lowe's.
Yes, yeah. The family's asleep.
Yeah.
Like Crystal's
And
sleeping.
all the other men that don't believe in doctors are there.
I see 'em. We look at
You're
each other.
walking around. You don't go to the doctor either, do you? F the doctor, yeah. Put it there. F the doctor.
No vaccine for me.
Yeah, we don't talk to each other, but we see each other in the
Yeah.
eyes, and we know.
Yeah, all of
Do
you,
the nod.
all of you
Yeah.
with limbs and covered in cancers and tumors.
And then, so then
Half of them deaf from ear injury.
Huh?
I'm just enjoying my time looking at some clearance plants,
Did your
Clearance.
Phone, did your phone blow up?
and then I get a text.
What's your text sound, or is it just vibrate?
It's just a vibrate. Then it's just like, where are you?
Oh my God.
And then-
Where are you?
And by the way, I already knew.
yeah, I know.
She has you- she's tracking you.
That's what I'm gonna yell about.
You gotta turn that
Because
off.
It's not about the text.
Yeah.
It's about the fact that you know her.
You gotta turn that off.
And you know that you're ruining my time.
Oh.
So I think now it's not about the question, because if you're actually concerned about
Do
where it
you
was-
answer, or do
Huh?
you write, you
No,
know
no,
where I'm at?
No, I get mad. I drop my plants. I take off.
You throw them down and get in the car, just
Well, I
drive?
don't even need them, because then I'm like, I don't even need this. She's
Right, and you were about to spend $95
I was
on
stupid for even
something.
being here. I'm an idiot.
I'm like, we're on a spending freeze.
You don't even get a
goddamn
hot
credit
dog?
card.
You don't even get a hot dog?
No, because you have to go park by the plant section. The hot dog's on the front.
Yeah, other side.
Yeah.
Other side.
You know, so
I know your Lowe's really well. I
Yeah,
go to that one a lot. I like that
I
Lowe's.
park in the back near the mulch.
Oh, that's a good spot.
Anyway, and then so then I
I
have to
vape
go
over there
drive
before I
home,
walk up.
drive home mad, and then when I get home,
Are they waiting at the door?
No. Still asleep.
Yes.
All still asleep. No one wants breakfast. No one wants anything. They sit silently.
So you sit there for how long? Hours until they wake up.
No, they all,
life.
they're sitting there for, they're sleeping for another 45 minutes, and then they can wake up, then they cook them breakfast, and all I can think about is the plants that I left at
That you
Lowe's.
didn't
The chat checking in complains about doctor bills, buys dirt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Soils. Different types
Soils.
of
Why that I
soils.
use for my plants? They thrive on
Max
the
uses
soils.
his ears.
Yeah.
No,
He loves to
what?
dance.
I said, what do they do? They're like, just give it time. And I'm like, well, that's what I said.
Well, what if they said something different?
Well, what if anything?
How
Yeah.
was I gonna know?
Anyway,
Have we ever
sorry.
had anything go
Yeah,
wrong
check.
here?
Okay, well, that's the
Well, he didn't
everybody's
think about
argument
that.
is like, look at your track record, and then that's hard to argue. you know,
Yeah,
that's
it
just
kind of is. We are the Orlando Guardians of planning events. Yeah,
bad
yeah.
coaching, bad players.
Aw. Good times, though.
Yeah.
We'll be there April 8th.
All bad. All bad.
No, they're fine. It's a beginning. It's a new league.
It's,
The rules are awesome.
They're a league of their own.
Tiger blood. So Bart and Crystal, the Bart Merrick team. What's the easiest way to contact you guys? Cell phones on the front page, right?
Bart
If you can hear it, because your ears, but you know.
Yeah, BartTheRealtor.com. What's the other one?
I think it's just BartTheRealtor.com
Did we ever
right now.
buy TheRealtor.com?
I think we did it
We
one.
did,
And then
but
combine
then
it with Bart. And did we buy Bart and Crystal?
We bought.
Realtors.com.
I don't think we have that one, but we did buy CrystalTheRealtor.com.
I don't know if we still have it.
There was something that happened a while back.
We need to
I
get a
don't know. I don't think we
zanier.
do.
We need a zanier.
But-
we need to kick it back to like when Bart first started working with us and get some zany web address like sell house big balls.
Oh,
Something.
my
Yeah, we
goodness.
need like some crazy URL.
Yeah. Do people still advertise on bus stops? Is that still a thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rico English.
Somebody does.
Is that his name? Rico
How
English.
much
Crystal,
does that cost?
therealtor.com does direct to Bart Merrick.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool, great.
We bought that, or you bought that?
I guess we did.
Yeah, I don't know. Tony
Somebody
may have.
bought it.
Yeah.
Bought it sometime.
Put the Peg Bundy pictures on.
Yeah.
Big pegs.
Yeah. Have you seen her, Peg Bundy?
She's hot.
Yeah, it's she hasn't changed that
She
much.
was really hot in
The 80s.
Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy. Yeah, Sons of Anarchy. She was really, really hot as like the mom, as like a biker mom.
Yeah.
But you know what didn't make that? You know what made that whole show not work for me is none of the bikers were racist, really.
I never watched it.
you're
They
like,
needed
"That's
to be
ain't real."
way more racist, like way more.
Yeah. They
like
couldn't-
way more.
They couldn't put on TV what they really
Right,
would say.
so they watered it down just
Yeah,
enough.
you're
you
like,
know?
this isn't
They're
real.
like, they're walking around a normal house. There's not one crazy SS flag in there. You know, not even one.
All right, let's get out of here. Guys, thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
And we will see you on Monday.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. That was funny. Gripes of the week. Jesus Christ. Gotta love them. That's Friday.
The 31st.
right.
That was a long one.
Yeah.
March.
It's mostly gripes. But
What time's Joe here?
he's not here till after lunch.
Oh, great.
And then I'm going to see you Saturday?
Yes, sir.
All right.
3.
Okay, let's see. Like these guys, Quinn and Kayla.
We're still on.
Yeah, Twitch and everything. But I can shut it all down.
No, you don't have to at all. They sent another one they want to go see.
Did you want to do that Tuesday second segment?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's get that done before.
We need 16 for that.
All right,
Are we just doing 2 for Tuesday, or are we going to do all 4?
I think we'll have time to do all 4
Okay.
because we'll do Joe for Monday, and
Can you forward me the
we have time to do all 4.
Do you have the contact information for the Wolverine agent? Or not Wolverine?
Yeah. Here, I'll just
Just forward me that email, and then I'll call about that appointment.
Crystal. Da-da-da-da. Okay, that's on its way to you. Mark Ramey. Looks like a kid. What did they want to see? The other house was like a trailer or something?
Well, the Wolverine one, and then he didn't realize it was a trailer, so he said never mind. And they just sent another one, so I'll
want me to? This one's in Sanford. Do you want me to do the one in Kings? You got it, or you?
Let me see. Yeah, I'll, if I can do them both together, I'll do them.
Okay. Okay. Mm.
Is it Mosher Drive? That's the Kingswood?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a drug neighborhood. Okay. Yeah, I haven't gotten anything from that agent yet at all. Yeah, and look at this and tell me what you think this is. I can't tell if this is a scam or if this is fucking real. I have a search set up for someone called Dylan. It just reads like a scam though.
Yeah, totally.
But there is a guy
So-
in our search setup as a Dylan.
Well, who's
I don't know
this?
who it is.
Let me see. Inbizonline.com? No, scam.
You think so? I'm getting older because I can't figure the shit out as fast as I used to.
Especially on that new phone you got. All right, buddies.
All right, sir. Great to see you.
Good seeing you.
The puppies doing well. Good to see you.
Love you, Crystal.
I'll
Tell
see you
the-
Saturday.
Tell the fellas I said hello.
Will do. Bye. Bye, Sam.
Bye.
Sorry about the fish tank.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's good in here, though. It doesn't stink or anything.
Yeah, we did all right. And the guy that did our cabinets, he came by last night. I let him in remotely, and he said the pieces that are swelling at the bottom, he's going to replace those. Yeah, he's great. AJ's cool, man.
Saturday, Bart Merrick and Ross McCoy will be recording Semantics.
Oh yeah, that's right.
With me. So if you want to ask any personal questions of Bart
or try to stump them in
Ross.
trivia.
well, Trav and I are
Goddamn
gonna,
trivia kings.
are gonna do that.
Oh, sorry.
We're not letting him know yet.
He didn't hear that.
But yeah, show at semanticspodcast.com or 407-603-5525.
Where my Braves at? Probably not many.
It was a trade, and we may have paid $2,500 or something like that for it. But they did it because we did a commercial for them, so it was kind of a. They hooked us up. All right, gentlemen. All right, dude.
See you guys. Have a great rest of your day.
See ya.
See ya. What are we doing next?
16 minutes for Tuesday,
Okay.
segment 2.
Did you get those new emails?
I did.
I printed. You want to do some emails? Let's do some emails. Cubs, Rays, great. Awesome.
Printer is up and working.
Yes. Fucking Xerox got me. They got me good. I'll get my money back on that ink, though. Let me know when you want me to start.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It's my first year of playing fantasy baseball. I'm going to be terrible.
Is it you pick X amount of batters?
Yep, and X amount of pitchers, and how they perform all goes into
The
you
points.
going up against the other person. So at the end, you'd get a ton of games. But the more I was looking at it this morning, if I said it before I go to bed or whatever, as long as I'm watching it shouldn't be that bad. Be interesting. All right, you want to do emails and I can start? I'll
Sure.
bring us back rather.
Yeah.
Here we
We-
go.
Oh, we can do. Yeah, we also can talk about some of that. What
were you gonna say?
I was gonna say the Lamar Jackson not having an agent.
I think that's fascinating.
Thing that.
Yeah, I think it's totally fascinating. But I saw. Did you see old what's his name? We both like it. Ross Tucker, who said he broke it down and he broke down like Josh Allen's deal, And then he broke down. Who was the other one? He broke down somebody else's deal, and then he's like, "Look, I could help Lamar out and take this on for no money at all if he would let me help him."
So it must be, yeah, but then surely someone that's what I want to talk about. Like the
Ross Tucker did it. He's like, "I will help you gladly out of the kindness of my heart if you want me to do it."
I think there's got to be people helping him. Like obviously the NFLPA,
I don't think
but
he's not getting any advice.
Yeah.
And I also don't think he's an idiot.
Yeah. But he's getting professional advice. He has to be, right? It's like the narrative is it's just his mom helping him, and then I'm just like, come on.
I do think that's funnier though. To think it's like his mom sitting behind him.
Yeah. But
he's at a laptop, like slowly typing.
That's what gets put out there.
And she's like, no, baby, go back to Google. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he's like
there are professionals helping this guy. They have to be, right? It's got to be. Wouldn't
it have already been like battened? I mean, did you see the other rumor that I think Ross Tucker reported is that only one team met or expressed any interest in meeting with him?
Yeah. Well, and
it was they used my favorite term, a mediocre level of warmth.
Yeah, well, I heard Arthur Blank made a statement saying he's just they're not interested because of his style of play. They can't guarantee that he's going to be healthy because of his track record. And then he's like, "You're a running quarterback. I don't want to pay that much for a quarterback that's injured." And it's like, man, he's been injured a lot, so it's hard to. Anyway.
All right. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Nah.
Oh, good Lord. We have new emails, though. I printed all fresh ones. I'll bring us back. Here we go. 3, 2. Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
Let's do some emails.
All righty. On the emails, as she always is our producer, Sam. If you'd like to send us an email, show@tomanddan.com. Get those emails in. Any question is on the board. You can ask us anything. Nothing is off limits.
Okay, so this first one, we talked about last week, the Chelsea Lynn show, and how we were a little confused because they told us not to mention Trailer Trash Tammy. So this is a Trailer Trash Tammy theory.
Ooh.
Hey, show, I want to touch on the subject of the Chelsea show at the Hard Rock. I went with my wife, and I had a mediocre time. My theory on why the show was called other than her character was to remain legally separated from the social media entity. If something comes up on your tour and there's legal trouble, Chelsea is responsible as an entity. But the Tammy brand is supposedly untouchable legally because that's not the flag they were under. Just my idea.
Oh, well,
I didn't think about that.
That makes sense to me. Although, so he's saying if she would promote it as like Trailer Trash Tammy, then her, I guess, business of her like social media empire that she's
has
built
no out.
Could be sued or some sort of liable for anything she does on tour. But like, what could happen on tour, and to Chelsea Lynn that would cause some sort of huge lawsuit? I mean,
and she doesn't strike me. And we spoke to her via Zoom. We did an interview with her. She doesn't strike me in any way, shape, or form as like a reckless or she's very smart, very responsible.
And she's going to have her own cruise next year.
Yeah, she has it all together. And then, man, we should do a cruise one time.
Should.
God, why don't we do it? Write that down, Sam. Tom and Dan cruise. Write that down.
And then, really, like anybody gets injured at your show, the venue is responsible.
Right.
So it's
I don't think I don't think maybe he means like at the show. Just maybe something in her personal
Injured
life,
at the show?
or like maybe something that she
Just
posts
come
on
out.
social media. She gets in trouble. I don't know.
Yeah. That theory could make sense if I understood what she
Or like
was
she got a
worried about.
DUI or something
I think-
crazy. I don't know.
I'm going to say I think it is a viable theory, but I still think it's incorrect. I think it's very simple. I think this was a nerves pivot. I think it was. I am more comfortable doing this character. It'd be like if you asked me, I'm going out on stage to do stand-up, right, for my first time ever. And then they said, but hey, Dan, you can either do that or you can go behind the curtain and just do voices or just talk and not be seen. I just do that. Like, go with what you're comfortable with is what I'm saying.
But then didn't she have like an act put together?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
That was the rumor. The rumor was. But
She's
see,
done this
maybe
before.
she did. Maybe she does.
Yeah.
Maybe she does. Maybe she's just not, like there are tons of songs that I can tell you guys I can play on guitar. But if I tried to play them in front of you right now, I'd struggle, right?
Yeah,
Because I'm not really
Yeah.
accomplished. I'm not comfortable with it.
We'll talk to Hard Rock and just see where that information even started from, because then we can
Do
even
we
ask
still
her.
have her info? We should just send her a
I
message.
can try.
Although-
they didn't respond to my last one.
Is that insulting? Being
I mean, I have her Zoom credentials. We could just Zoom her right now if we
if
wanted
she
to.
picks up?
Yeah, if she picks up, like,
We
hey,
could.
why'd you do trailer trash?
Jelly Roll's wife did that, and
Well-
she picked up.
Well, that's not even the thing. It's like, why were we told to stay away from that name when that is
I can ask
predominantly
Leah
in
just
the
to see if
show?
she knows.
She didn't
but
say
I
that.
doubt it.
Guaranteed. I'll bet my
Yeah.
daughter's life on it. Chelsea Lynn did not say to tell us that. Guaranteed that did not happen.
Yeah, it came from who knows.
I've had this happen so many times with
Yeah.
publicists and agents and people like
Yeah.
that. I've made a career out of doing this locally in radio, where I've always been told what to do and it's always wrong. Like 90% of it's wrong.
Yeah.
The bios are old. The information's old. You know how many times I've had somebody on the line and you'll be talking to them and
Most of the bios are old. Y'all
Yeah.
got to update y'all's website.
and you'll say something like, what was it like appearing as a guest star on the Love Boat? And somebody will be like, that never happened. Where'd you get that?
Yeah.
So it's on your bio. I'm so sorry. That was my brother or something. It's
Right.
like it's always wrong or messed up. Or,
When you talk about publicists and agents, it's funny because before we talked about wanting to talk about the Lamar Jackson thing and then
Yeah.
him not having an
yeah,
agent.
perfect segue.
But it does seem like, because on paper, if you look at it, you're like, all right, there's this business and I want to get paid this and the business wants to pay me this. Can we just work it out ourselves and not bring any other person into this? But throughout the years, it's become, this is how business gets done. There's
Yeah.
a middleman that's there to negotiate.
They even have
right?
it for clients now, where you have to go through like an ad agency.
Yeah.
That's nothing more than an agent for like a different client or a different business.
And it does make sense, to a certain extent, to have a professional negotiator or lawyer or agent or whatever that knows all. That's
Typically,
the
you
only
want the
thing he does.
connections, right? Typically, you want the guy that's Rolodex is big enough to know the people that need to be known.
Yeah. But then if you break it down to like, well, what is he doing? Is he just saying my client wants this, and then they're like, no, we want to give him this? Well, how about this? You know what I'm saying? Is it just back and forth Craigslist deal until you reach
Right.
a
Supposedly, it takes the emotion out of it, right? Like for me,
Yeah.
having somebody speak on my behalf, it always seemed better than having me speak, because I might get a little too hot, or I might get a little too sad, or whatever. I'm triggered.
Yeah, well, taking the emotion, but if you just like the logic of like, well, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna pay someone a percentage to come in here and do this song and dance where it's back and forth, and you meet in the middle? Like, let's just do that, and then instead of paying that guy, just pay me more than that, because I see Lamar Jackson not wanting an agent because the overall point of it is ridiculous if you break it down, but it's how things are done. So when you start bucking the system, then things get screwed up. Like
Well, I don't
the
even
business
think-
doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to do. Like they're not manipulating the media. Like it's all convoluted a little bit.
Well, I
but
don't
it's
hear-
how things are done.
I think in this instance, I don't know. I could be wrong, but this has the feeling to me of somebody who wants to do it. That he could just as easily, like you've said before, he could just as easily, write that into his contract and take care of the amount of money that would be needed for the agent. No problem at all.
Well,
You write that in, you roll that in somehow, you make it happen so they get paid, and then it's a wash in the end, and you still got the money that guaranteed that you wanted. But he's not doing that.
Yes, and that's what everybody obviously is looking at the situation, and then all the the podcasts and the media is like, why is he doing this? Because an agent will do this for 1%.
It appears he's enjoying it.
We're talking about $2 million or whatever it is, and then he'll probably get you more than $2 million, and then therefore you're back
good
to
to
what you were originally going to get.
Fine.
But on the other side of it, I do see Lamar Jackson's point, and I've seen this before with other
This
things.
is like taking your kid to the doctor.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah,
It is,
this is like you're
But
gonna
why-
nickel and dime everything. You drive yourself crazy. You're also not trained to even do that. The why is you're not trained
Yeah.
and you don't know your ass from a hole in the ground.
True.
That's why.
I know that's why, and that's why.
Not you, Lamar Jackson.
And
That's not his world. His world is throwing footballs and
Yeah.
running really,
Yeah.
really fast.
I know, and then the agent's world is negotiating these contracts, which
That's
is
their
like
job, yeah.
pay someone to do their job.
Yeah.
But it's that job
I know.
is essentially absurd because what is he doing?
Well, is it? I mean, you look at it
I
now
know.
and like, what is Lamar doing? It don't look like
It
he's
does,
doing.
yeah.
So based on that, the proof, if you're looking at both sides of the proof, well, you have proof that you don't think my job is worth this, but you're not proving that my job is worthless by doing this. You're not, look at anybody that goes up in front of a court and argues their own case. Have you ever seen it done successfully?
Yeah, well,
I don't think I've ever seen it.
a lot of times
I love when they do it though.
that is
like, oh, you're a
it's
crazy
just a
person.
crash.
But when you argue your own case, you don't know. Like obviously, like lawyers have to draw up the contract, and you get into all the legalese of it. And like the NFLPA has lawyers to do all that, like the contract and all that stuff. Yeah, he has no business.
But
doing
beyond
it.
anything, doesn't this just make you look like a pain in the ass?
Well,
Just very simple. If you just write Lamar Jackson down, there's a reason that nobody wants to meet with him. It's because, here's Mr. No Agent, here's Mr. Pain in the ass.
Well, that is a different conspiracy theory.
Mr. Accident Prone, Injury, Pain in the ass.
Like I said, I'm not too much of a conspiracy theorist, but because this is all I listen to, a lot of people have brought up the point that
Come to the dark side.
the only reason this is happening is the Deshaun Watson contract, right? Deshaun Watson gets paid $260 million guaranteed, and then
the Browns GM defended that. You saw that.
yeah.
He came out and defended it and saying, hey, we did that at the time. We guaranteed him the money. We were doing what we thought we needed to do for our franchise.
Yeah, and all the other franchises are like, you idiots! because that sets a certain market,
Yeah,
and
it sets a
everybody else,
precedent,
like
yeah.
Lamar Jackson, is looking at like, you paid this guy that has all these
Mega baggage.
I like to call them indiscretions.
Entitlements. Or entanglements. Entanglements.
This guy
That was what she said, right? Entanglements.
who on the surface is a POS and has all this stuff, and then you paid him this amount of money, and he's not even really proven. And former MVP Lamar Jackson, is not even getting close to this.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Like,
Not even sniffing it.
I see why Lamar Jackson. Now the conspiracy theory is all the other owners, and it's kind of like price fixing. They don't want, like, they all kind of looked at each other, and they all talk to each other.
This stops now. Like that?
Like,
Did they do that?
They
Like a wizard?
They all probably are on the same page of, we cannot offer another person a contract like this, because now once you get two, it's not an anomaly
We
anymore.
cannot offer another $5.
Shut it down. It was a shut it
We
down.
needed an agent.
And that's
The
screwed
whole
up.
time.
That's screwed up because if a team would want to and they think it'll be good but didn't for the collective good of the whole business, which is the NFL and all the teams, what I'm saying, then that's kind of screwed up because can you do
Kind
it?
of screwed up. It's definitely screwed up.
If you can do it, then that is
You
the
can
market.
do it.
Well, I'm saying, like, if you now offer another $260 million guaranteed contract, well, now you got two, and now all the other quarterbacks are like, well, I want that too.
Yeah.
And I think that
Joe
is
Burrow.
it's all complicated. But back to Lamar's mom, like, being his agent and not having an agent, like, the actual negotiation for price does seem like a stupid song and dance. Like, because people do want the back and forth. I recently went through this where like I just cut to the ending to get over. Like, I didn't want to do the I want this. Oh, we'll give you this.
Well, counter with X.
Yeah. It's like, I don't want to do all this because it's a waste of time to me if we're going to end up at the ending anyway. So can I just
give me your bottom line?
give me the ending?
Give me the ending.
Yeah.
We do that a lot here. We go like, what's it? Just get to what is it? Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Because this stupid song and dance back and
no,
forth
I
is
agree with that.
ridiculous.
I do agree with that. What I hate right now is that, and this is from emotional person, right? This is this is coming from a little crybaby Danny. What's sad about this is that you have a super talented guy. Is this going to hurt him going into the next season? You want these people to play, right? He's a super talented player. Well, I want him to play.
He ain't playing for Baltimore, apparently. Well, I don't know. I mean, but it seems like more and more
the last thing
that he's
I
not
read,
going to.
it looks like that's not going to happen.
Now the question is, not to talk about NFL, but does another team trade a first-round pick and instead of getting that rookie QB, get Lamar Jackson? Lamar Jackson's way more expensive, but he's proven.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
And in 2019, whenever he won the MVP, he was insane. Like he basically won it by was winning games by himself.
Yeah.
He's like an insane athlete, a super talented. So do you take that, or do you take the rookie that who knows he could be out
Now,
of
do
the
you
league?
want my opinion on that? As a person that has followed Arsenal Soccer Club in London, we've always been a selling team. We like homegrown players. We bring them up through our ranks, and we get them, and they're really good, and then we sell them off, and we make a ton of money. And we're not known for going out and spending boatloads of money on really good players. I'm not a fan of it. I didn't want Deshaun Watson on Atlanta. I don't want Lamar Jackson on Atlanta. I don't want any more big contracts.
Yeah.
We can have rookies. That's fine. I'm way more okay with that.
Now,
that's just personally me. That's me.
Now, business-wise, there's nothing better than a talented rookie quarterback because they get him on the rookie deal, right?
I think Arthur Smith even said, yesterday, that our guy is old Ritter.
And so if you get a really talented quarterback, you got 5 years of not having to pay him, and you could build around him, and that's, but Tampa Bay and the Rams have shown that you can get just a bunch of veterans and win Super Bowls. So to me,
Lamar's a better get than Brady.
I think I've been a Miami Dolphins fan my whole life, and then I get mad when I don't
Lamar to Miami.
No, we don't need him. Two is fine. But I'm excited about Miami.
Take him to a doctor.
Yeah, Miami's looking good.
Well, with Vic Fangio as their defensive coordinator, and
they just picked up who was it?
Jalen Ramsey. With Ramsey and Howard as our cornerbacks, and we got our running backs back. Of course, Tyreek Hill and Waddle. I'm excited about Miami, but
Don't talk about Waddle.
I want a Super Bowl, like every team wants, right? Like you want your team to win the Super Bowl.
But I've always wanted a team that's going to give me some years. Like it was really fun when the Falcons were good.
I want it all.
So you're just so you're more of a
leverage
but what if the next year you're like, okay, you leverage it, you get Lamar, he wins you a Super Bowl. The next year, injured in the second game and out forever, and now you got nothing.
Yes.
You got nothing.
Look at Tampa, got nothing. You got Stinky Mayfield. I feel bad for Sam. You got Stinky Mayfield. He's gonna stink.
Well, we stunk for a long time.
But you got a Super Bowl.
You did get a Super Bowl.
So now we got to stink a little bit longer until we get another one.
I've never.
At least you got a Super Bowl.
I've never seen a Super Bowl win in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Me neither.
So I've never seen the Dolphins get to the Super Bowl, and so it's that's all I want. And if that takes screwing up 5 years from the future, I'll take it now. And I think most sports fans would take it now. Look at the Rams. I mean, they obviously gambled on everything, won the Super Bowl. Now, I mean, their team's a mess for years because of all the stuff they did, but they got that Super Bowl.
Tightened it up
and then
just enough.
And then I feel like that is worth or you do this rigmarole where you're like, I'm going to make the playoffs.
I think it's a better
and
story.
It's years and years of nothing.
I like the story better when you build the team and they win the Super Bowl. Now, ideally, it's probably percentage-wise, that's way harder to have happen because you have to have that guy in the position. He has to make his way through the farm team or whatever, get on your team and ride it through. I like that story better than, the plug-and-play.
It seems like you're just throwing money at it.
Yeah, when Tampa bought everybody and won the Super Bowl, it's like, that's the way it works.
Yeah. Now,
but a better story is if everybody had that was the scrappy Tampa team that won it.
Although there is this, I've been thinking about this high at night where I was like, I wonder if there was no pandemic. I wonder if that helped Brady win the Super Bowl because it was just quiet and no fans environment.
I gotta know where to throw it.
Old man just playing pure football, and that benefited him. And
it helped the Braves win the World Series too.
Well,
nice and quiet out there.
Maybe if there was no pandemic, now you can argue with any sort of small plays that happen. Obviously, it's just sometimes there's random luck. But I was like, I wonder in a pandemic year, no fans, it was just the perfect environment for Brady to win the Super Bowl. And he did it.
I still wish he, I'm not a hater. I still wish he'd been Super Bowl, mic drop, out.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
He should have done it.
It's the Seinfeld. He could have done the Seinfeld ending. But, it's all right. He's still the best.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Nice job. Right at noon. What
So
time
that's
is Joe
Tuesday.
at 1?
Joe, yeah.
Okay.
That was Tuesday 2.
What date?
4/4.
Got it. I got it. All right.
I got 5 on it.
Okay, guys. Well, hey, have a great lunch, everybody. We're going to lunch, right?
Yeah.
Just chicken.
Just chicken.
Just chicken. It's a chicken. There was a restaurant called It's a Chicken in Whiskey Lou's, and it moved, and now Black Magic Pizza is there.